let's go back in time for a split second and discover what I've done so far when it came to my video game collection itself. I should really get back into making video game collecting videos. I already showed you my video game collection over the years about my PS4, PS3, and PS5, so now it's time to keep that ball slowly but surely rolling forward as I present my PlayStation 1 video game collection. I'm saving the PS2 stuff for a really good day. I remember the day when I was just chilling on the carpet as a 3-year-old and seeing my dad hooking up the PlayStation 1 system on an old television box set. Good times. We never knew how great we have it until it's gone. And while it may have been the first video game console I got to play, I'll be realistic, I don't have many memories with the PlayStation 1 other than Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, and The Emperor's New Groove. So while my PlayStation 1 collection may seem small overall, it features some video games that were pretty close to me back in the day, and I always remind myself not to grab every single PS1 game. Only the ones I can try to remember, otherwise I'm just wasting my time and money. So here we go, this is my PlayStation 1 video game collection. There are 31 games in total to discuss, and let's waste no time and start with the first game, A Bug's Life. This is the first of many Disney games I have, so bear with me on that. A Bug's Life for the PlayStation 1 is an okay 3D platformer. Not exactly the best I've experienced, but I think I was given this game because I enjoyed the movie. And here we have the Crash Bandicoot games, Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, 3, and Crash Bash. There's no Crash Team Racing unfortunately because of how expensive it is. I do have the digital edition of that game on the PS3, but maybe one day I would like to obtain CTR in physical form. But still, I'm happy with what I have. Even Crash Bash has a place in the collection too. Up next is Colin McRae Rally. Believe it or not, this was my first racing game I got to experience, and at the time, I was blown away by how good the game looked at its time. It was the first of many games I was able to learn and appreciate how good a video game can look. Croc Legend of the Gobos is next. It's a bit of an interesting 3D platformer, it's cute, harmless, and very charming. It's a shame Croc didn't get the same treatment as many other beloved video game mascots. Another racing game to mention is Destruction Derby 2. Playing through this game, I reckon it was way ahead of its time with the amount of carnage you can witness, and as for the actual demolition derbies themselves, it is just insanely good. Next up is The Emperor's New Groove. I have reviewed this game and my opinion still stands 100%. I love this game and consider it as one of my favorite childhood video games, even if I know deep down it's not the best PS1 game out there. Lilo & Stitch Trouble in Paradise is up next. For a game that seems basic and straightforward, it's not entirely that bad. It has its moments and features an enjoyable soundtrack. Can't wait to watch the live version movie, by the way. Here we have is Medieval. I got this game after finishing up Medieval on PlayStation 4 to see the comparisons. And now after playing the PlayStation 1 version, I have a lot more appreciation for Medieval. Up next is Monsters Inc. Scare Island. I love this game, even though it's not perfect, but what makes this game enjoyable is to go through the music and the fun level designs. Here we have its two Power Ranger video games, Lightspeed Rescue and Time Force. Both of them have their ups and downs, and while they are very similar, I do remember liking them since I love the Power Rangers series. I'll have to make a video on them in the future. Up next is Rapid Racer. It's a boat racing game, so that's something different. This is another PlayStation 1 game I remember playing a lot back in the day. I can't remember if it was any good, but I did remember having fun, which counts. Up next is Rayman. It's the first and, well, only Rayman game I actually played in my life. This game looks beautiful, which says a lot for a PlayStation 1 video game. The visuals are gorgeous and the music sounds top notch. What more could you ask for? Scooby-Doo and a Cyber Chase are next. Nowadays, I don't like this game at all, but I suppose since I had somewhat of a connection with it at the time, that's why it's in the collection. Here we have next is Sheepdog and Wolf. It's a game I consider underrated. It's a little fun Looney Tunes game that is heavily focused on puzzle solving and figuring out how to finish the level. It's all good stuff. Next up is Shrek Treasure Hunt. I don't even know how I managed to play this game back in the day, nor how I got the game in the first place, but yeah, it's here. The next two games are Spider-Man games, Spider-Man 2000 and Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro. These games just take the formula on what makes Spider-Man great and apply it to both of these games. If you love Spider-Man, definitely try out these two. Up next is SpongeBob SquarePants Super Sponge, the very first SpongeBob game I ever got to try out. A fun time to play through it back in the day, even though I believed I sucked at the game back then, but still, I enjoyed it for what it was. Here's another 3D platformer, but this time we have Stuart Little 2. I've said this before and I'll repeat it. I'll be surprised if anyone can remember Stuart Little. Well, at least I remember playing this game and I love it. Next up is Tarzan. It's just another friendly and harmless Disney 3D platformer. It's an alright video game, not the best, but not the worst on this list. We'll get to that soon. Here's another two games to mention, Tekken 2 and Tekken 3. Wish I had Tekken 1, but I'm not complaining at all. Tekken 2 has a great character roster, and Tekken 3 has one of the best gameplays in the PS1 trilogy. I love the Tekken series and love these two games. Up next is The Simpsons Wrestling. By God, what the fuck is this? It's a bit of a weird game, this one. I haven't played it since I last reviewed it years ago, and I still hate it with a passion. But here's something that I don't hate, and that's Toy Story 2 Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue. For a Toy Story game, I was absolutely shocked to see how unbelievably great it was. It controls well, and the mini-games are fun as well. It's another one of those games I highly recommend trying out. Next up is Treasure Planet. This is the final Disney game we're talking about in this video, and it's the last 3D platformer game on my PS1 list. I did enjoy it as a kid, but fast forward to nowadays as an adult, not so much. Next up is Tweeny's Game Time. Yep, I even have a baby's game in my collection. Not much to say on this one, it's very simple, very basic, it's just a big pile of bleh at the end of the day. The last game to discuss is a wrestling game, WWF SmackDown 2 Know Your Role. I got this game a few years ago and I have to say, I love this game. It takes me back to the good old video game wrestling days. But oh well, it's time to snap back into reality. And that's my current PlayStation 1 collection so far. I would love to add more games, maybe some Resident Evil and other 3D platformers, but I'm happy with what I have. It's important to note that it's all about the quality of games you have and not the quantity. I am missing the Spyro trilogy, but I have them downloaded on my PS3 console, but I didn't count them as I think physical copies are the way to go. And while my PS1 games are pretty small, I've had my personal experience with all of these games and I'm grateful to have tried them out. Yes, even the bloody Simpsons wrestling game. But anyway, that's going to wrap up this small video. I thank you all so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to leave a like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. My name is Justin Hurst, telling you to keep calm and keep playing video games.